Hi, Dr. Saxena here, and I've been talking about something which was key to longevity, and I must put across because we can't understand what is the kind of how long you are going to live on. That's a very difficult question, but somewhere we can, as doctors, we can always look into certain factors which will help us enable to give us a good quality of life what you are trying to work it out. So I do, so the questions like why do I die, doctor, why do we age, there are people who come with why do we things wear out. See, there are a lot of questions. What happens is that do we just live our life and then all of a sudden out of a blue a disease bug comes floating and that kills us. I'm talking from the present concept about this COVID pandemic. So what happens is that what are we as doctors trying always, unless right drug to be found to kill that bug. What are our so most of the people are having the same questions. The first question is fundamental: why do we die? Why do we age? What is the kind of things wearing it out? Why are you aging? Why are you getting into degenerative diseases? What are so? I want to tell you like see, I can always tell what is my perspective. Lifestyle, which is consisting of diet, stress level, or something like mental outlook, daily physical endurance, movement, and sometimes and there are bug issues are there. But if we have your what I always keep talking about is I believe that it is not everything is the bug. It's not everything is the virus or any kind of stuff. It is your kind of your body. You have got that resilience in your body. You have some things by that you can always go across and get away with all that diseases. What is thing I want to tell you is something called biological terrain, and biological terrain is it consists of a lot of stuff. It writes from your mouth, GI tract. You have got immune system things. How the skin health. There's so many things in biological terrain, and if you have a good biological terrain, I'm sure you're not going to get into any kind of major problems. So, having said that, we saw a lot of people getting the major killers today is a heart disease, cardiac arrest. What we talk about stroke, we talk about cancer, we talk about lung disease, we talk about accidents is a big thing, and we have some neurodegenerative disorders, something like Alzheimer's, Parkinsonism. Not much here, but diabetes is all high here. Talking about that, and the latest thing which is called pneumonia, which is flu and pneumonia. You have got something like kidney disease, and you have something like septicemia, or I can tell you there's something like ARDS and all that. So these are the major causes, major killers right now. Except for the accidents, all these illnesses are largely preventable. They are caused or aggravated by years of bad dietary habits. If I can go further, when I look into something like cancer, heart disease, and strokes, um, last 30 years they are almost the same. They have not changed. See, you spend so much for this particular disease, but kind of people are popping off like anything just because of three major things: cardiac problem, cancer, and stroke, neurological stroke. So, see, this is what you need to understand is these diseases don't just fly in the night air and invade our pure innocent cells and tissues. We just like that. You need to. This is what happens is it is a slow process. It occurs from weeks to months to years. But because of the loading of this indigestible, you have something like devitalized foods, what we take, which slowly kills the body cells and tissues. I can go further. I can always talk about something. We talk about, okay, say someone died of it, say he had a bad heart, he had a bad liver, he had a bad stomach, he was a. So that is not right. Healthy people don't get sick. The body is either healing or dying every day. It is, you need to understand that you have, see the, for me, I'm always talking about something called toxicity and all that, but I want to give my perspective. The principal obstacle to full health is the degree of blood toxicity. You may think of poisons such as arsenic, you think of cyanide or rat poison, or things such as secret agents in the James Bond thriller. What is being just before they are captured, they just pop up that particular thing. There are many levels and types of poisons. The best one kill you, and and you the slowest and are undetectable. What are the slow poisons which all of us we get is through food we eat. So I can always tell you what is the kind of food what we are taking. Devitalized, it's not mineralized, we are having a lot of pesticides, glyphosides and all that. That is a poison. What is a good poison is it blocks the flow of blood, it decreases the amount of oxygen in the tissues, it interferes with one and more major systems of the body, cause addiction to the poison itself. You tend to take that particularly, eventually kill the subject without even being detected. So this, what I'm talking is about the processed foods. These are the processed foods. These block the flow of blood. Number one, they interfere with, they decrease the amount of oxygen in the blood. They interfere with one or major systems and all that. The processed food addiction is high. I mean, I'm an avid watcher. I just see what are the kind of commercials which come, Lays and all, so many things. These are all the processed foods which is causing us to get into problems. It is not the cyanide, it is not the arsenic or something like that, but this is the commonest thing is the processed food. So I just, what I'm talking about is trying you to understand there is no big kind of things. If you are able to help this processed foods also, if you can take, and if you are able to digest it, your body has got good enzymatic actions and all that. Or we try to work on something like, because somewhere there are several things, your body produces some enzymes to process that foods, but what happens is that these several things make that enzyme denatured, like heating above 118 degrees Fahrenheit. While cooking, we heat to high levels. That denatures the enzymes in the food as well as whatever we are trying to say. The drugs what we take, the the kind of alcohol, the kind of fluoride, something like free radicals, you have got something like food processing agents, so many things which irradiation, genetic engineering. So I always try to give you some food for thought. Try to, if given a choice between cooked food and raw food, I would rather like to go for the raw food with proper all aseptic precautions, trying to see that all things are being properly. You can always, raw food is not just raw food, it can be, steaming is much better than overcooking. You can always look into this kind of stuff so that that will make your enzymes intact still in the food, and it causes less taxation in the body's own enzyme reserves. So this this is one thing which always we try to work it out. We are talking about digestive enzymes. There are, as you all know, we take three types of food, which is fats, protein, and carbohydrate. And the problem is with the carbohydrates these days, and the kind of processed foods, refined foods, and all that. So something there I can always talk about something like if for carbohydrate assimilation you require something like amylase, and see what happens is that many doctors and with no background in nutrition, they just say that we can eat anything we want because the body's digestive enzymes are designed to break down the food. This would be true if we are eating an 80% natural diet. We are not, the natural diet leaves behind no residue from the digestive activity. That is normal digestion. But we don't have the natural diet nowadays. Most of us are on burgers, pizzas, we talk about chips, we talk about donuts, we talk about coke, we talk about chicken nuggets, a lot of stuffs. So these are non-foods, new to the human species. Our digestive systems are never designed to break these chemical freaks. So the stuff doesn't get digested, it sits there rotting in the intestines. Abnormal diet is equivalent to abnormal digestion. So what happens? Toxemia. Toxemia is means blood poisoning. A kind of people. There was Dr. Dr. Tilden. He wrote a book called Toxemia Explained, and he didn't believe drugs cure diseases. He has one simple thesis. He said every so-called disease is a crisis of toxemia, which means that toxin has accumulated in the blood, which we call in Ayurveda as ama, or we call it as acidity in our thing. Accumulated in the blood above the toleration point. The crisis, the so-called disease, call it flu, cold, pneumonia, headache, or typhoid fever, is a vicarious elimination. The nature is endeavoring to get rid of the body of toxin. That's the reason body tries to go into chills, tries to uh, uh, raise the temperature. You get into fever, you get into cough. You want to expel that particular things out. This model of disease, so a disease is named for where the toxins accumulate so much that the body starts falling. This model of disease, known as vicarious elimination, has never been disproven. What happens is the normal avenues for expelling waste, which is liver, kidneys, you have got colon, are overwhelmed. As a survival instincts, the other organs of the body become enlisted to help get rid of waste. They try desperately to expel the undigestible, rotting poisons, often becoming inflamed or diseased themselves in an attempt. One of the obvious example of this idea is acne. Acne is not a skin problem. It is vicarious elimination. The blood and the colon are so backed up with poisons that they are accumulating faster than they escape from the body, and the body tries an extreme solution, which is expelling these poisons through the body's largest organ, that is the skin. This is an alternative escape route. As the poisons leave, they irritate the normal skin and causes rash, redness, pustule eruptions like pimples or boils. This is why skin creams and lotions don't work in such scenario. I don't think it's a skin problem. Acne is not a skin problem. It's like it is a problem of chronic blood poisoning from an indigestible diet. Third world people rarely get acne. The people who are not on this processed foods, they don't get acne. Acne is a disease of excess, a consequence of fast food lifestyle. Chronic incurable diseases such as eczema, psoriasis often fall in the same category where their well intentioned but clueless dermatologist who has convinced them that it's only have hope is that right medication. Same is with the kidneys. Original job was simply to maintain water and electrolyte balance within the blood. That's the kidney job. But with the advent of modern foods and commerce, suddenly the kidneys find themselves spending all their energy trying to filter out this new man-made chemicals from the blood, a function for which they were never designed. The resultant is CKD, chronic renal disease. Another vicarious example, lungs take over for the kidneys. When the level of toxins in the blood exceeds the kidney's capacity to eliminate them via urine, lungs try to take up some of the slack. The lungs secrete some of the blood toxins through their mucous membranes. Such toxicity irritates and inflames the delicate lung membranes and can be the initial cause of pneumonia, bronchitis, asthma, edema, pulmonary edema, or virtually any other lung problem. Same is the cold. Why I'm talking about all these things? I just want to come into the basic kind of stuff. Cold is simply the body's way of saying that the level of toxicity has now surpassed the body's ability to get rid of waste through the normal avenues. Normal avenues are colon, liver, and the kidneys. So it will try alternative or a vicarious route, which is nose, mouth, throat, eyes, and lungs. Common cold. Talking about all the virus. You need to understand when these things are involved, you have a problem already. There is a kind of the normal avenues for the waste product kind of things which have been normally followed, colon, kidneys as well as liver has been stagnated. That's the reason that the body tries to take to the other vicarious route. Same example I can give for other thing also, which is a pelvic inflammatory disease. People explain dysmenorrhea and pelvic inflammatory disease, irritation of the female organs when they use a alternative routes of removal from the blood. At menopause, when this avenue avenue stops, detox the disuse, various problems may occur because of when you are menstruating, we are taking out a lot of vicarious. We are taking a lot of things through your blood, which is a good thing. But once you get into menopause, you get into problem. Vicarious elimination, a organ of reproduction being used as an emergency organ of detoxification. So sometimes this Tilden theory of vicarious elimination is that many diseases are really just a organ's emergency attempt to discharge excess poisons because of the primary avenues are overloaded. If that part of body is overwhelmed in the process, it becomes disease, and we pretend that that organ isolation from the body is the problem. We don't give any damn to the other things. We are only talking about acne. We feel it's a skin problem, but you need to work at all the other things. You need to work at the liver, you need to work at the colon as well as the kidneys. In the same way with the other things. So it's just a kind of just thinking is required nowadays, because we are always trying to do our best to treat this common cold, this common flu, the pandemic, but we are absolutely falling. We are not helping our patients because the other things are being totally impacted. So we need to really look at this Dr. Tilden's work, which he was talking about vicarious elimination. He said about this particular thing, I try to underline that this is undigested food in the intestines, and the blood was a primary cause for all the disease. His ideas are now being substantiated in most gastroenterology journals. This is one thing which I thought I will try to talk about, that and this particular thing is I was not aware. I was vicarious elimination. It took long time for the last 5 to 10 years. Because my foray into all this particular thing, trying to look at what is best for my patient and all that. That is helping me out, and I by default found Dr. Tilden's work very interesting, and yes, it can explain most of the problems, and I try to use this particular stuff in my practice, and that is vicarious elimination. Thank you.